16 out of 48. Hatton, 23 out of 70. Bringing up the question immediately, can you win a fight throwing only 48 punches per round against a guy like Ricky Hatton?
And you know what's so interesting to me, and I think in Urango's mind, he's winning this fight. And everybody in his corner is telling him one thing, but I think he himself is convinced that he's winning this fight. And if he keeps that mindset and doesn't pick up his pace, he's going to be very shocked at the decision. Very interesting. You'll recall in the preceding fight, Jose Luis Castillo told the guys in his corner, what are you talking about? I'm not losing this fight. I'm not having trouble. Shortly after that, the most veteran judge of the group, Chuck Jampa, gave the last 3 rounds of the fight to Ngojo. There's a big right hand upstairs by Juan Urango. You know, I always wondered if Urango used his right jab, how effective he could be, because he is right-handed, and he just doesn't use his right jab, which is the difference between guys like him and Marvelous Marvin Hatton. I always wonder about any fighter who doesn't liberally use his jab. George Foreman's greatest line, I always thought, as our expert commentator back in his years of sitting in your chair, Emmanuel, was, this sport is easy if you have a jab. George Foreman knocked out a lot of people by setting them up with a jab like he did Michael Moore, and they never saw the right hand. Well, it's probably truer in the heavyweight division, but we could always tell when Lennox Lewis's great nights were coming. That was when he threw more than 30 jabs per round. If he didn't, he was vulnerable. I don't care which fighter, if I'm working with, I believe in the left jab, always. I think that's the most important key punch in boxing. Or in Urango's case, the right jab. The right jab in this case. Everybody talks about the new Colombian middleweight, Edison Miranda, and his monster right hand. But his left jab eats up the ring. It looks almost like Lennox Lewis in there. You never see the right hand because you become so preoccupied with the left jab. Urango just not throwing enough jabs to give Hatton an initial problem to deal with. But he feels that he's winning the fight still. Well, he's a confident athlete, very calm, taking a punch right through the middle of the guard as Ricky Hatton throws a right-hand lead up and under, and then hammers with the left hook as he backs away. Urango misses with the left hand, and Hatton manages to tap him twice, using his feet better and more rapidly than the Colombian fighter who lives in Miami. And Urango is fighting like a fighter who lifts weights. Even if he's just naturally muscle like it, the muscles are really slowing him down, and his punches doesn't come off nowhere near as fast as they should. The fan is always impressed with the sculpted Kenny Norton-like body, but it isn't always the best way to be. No, outside of Mike Tyson, most of the great punches that I saw always were guys who were loosely built. And even Mike wasn't really that devastating after about 7 rounds, because muscles tire and slow down as the fight progresses. Urango still seems to think he's winning the fight. He's not.
Hey, listen.
At least it would appear.
What are you doing? Come on, let go. When he's holding on, push him off. Come on, you got to be an animal. You've got to be an animal. It's going to be a decision for them. They're going to vote for him. You understand? We don't win the fight that way. You've got to pressure, throw more. Work it. If he grabs you, push him off. Come on, push.
You're not. When you're inside, when you feel comfortable, maybe get one move, might get a pit of stomach, then you might get somewhere with him. But just one move, don't try anything flash. Don't try anything, because he's not done any work really, and he'll just steal forward like a train, yeah? Tie the fucker up. Don't be the hero, Ricky. Don't be the hero, and we're going with a title, right?
You saw the kid brother of Hatton at ringside with the rest of the family. He fought on the undercard and won a decision.
That's Matthew Hatton, fought on the undercard earlier this evening.
Has a record of about 29-3, I believe.
Urango has a twin brother in Colombia. In fact, his nickname is the Iron Twin. His twin brother is also a fighter, but his record is 1-0.
You know, we've seen a number of very strong, very tough, very determined fighters come out of Colombia with unbeaten records, with 95% knockout records, and wind up getting schooled the first time they meet a good boxer. And even though Hatton is certainly not going to win any medals or write any books about classic boxing, he is out boxing Urango here.
Well, case in point, of course, the fabulous young prospect, Joel Julio, tremendous knockout punching power. eye-catching skills, but schooled by Carlos Quintana and faded in the heat of Las Vegas here last summer and picked up his first loss. Ricardo Torres ultimately outboxed by Miguel Cotto in Atlantic City. Edison Miranda, tremendously eye-catching skills and power, etc. But he lost to Arthur Abraham, even though he broke Abraham's jaw in the 4th round.
It shows that you can have a good record or whatever, but it depends on your level of competition that you're competing with.
Well, and it also depends on the level of training you're getting.
Stop.
Hard right hand by Urango. But generally for Juan Urango, through the middle portion of the fight, it's been one punch at a time. Since that round, in which he put together a lot of body punches, clearly won the round, gave Hatton trouble, Hatton has continued to be able to flow and put his punches together in combination and swamp Urango in total output, which is very eye-catching to the judges.
Rick is fighting a very smart fight when you consider that you know, he's fighting a guy who comes in, covers up tight defense, and who's said by his own admission he's a counterpuncher. So Ricky's got to fight a very smart fight, and I think he's doing a good job mixing up the boxing, moving away, clinching, doing whatever's necessary to try to win the championship.
We've been amazed over the years at how accurately CompuBox can predict who's going to win a fight based on numerical formulas. Hatton said that he had distractions prior to fighting Collazo in Boston that made it difficult for him to put forth his best performance. Fighting at 147, last May, he averaged 62 punches thrown per round. Tonight, back at 140 pounds, throwing 69 punches per round. It's only a 7-punch difference, but round by round by round, it adds up. You do that for 10 rounds, you've thrown 70 more punches than you did a year ago.
Stop. In fact, about 95% of the fights are normally won by whoever throws the most punches. Stop.
On his head, plenty. Get more.
It's going.
I want more. Listen to me, Bricker. Listen to me. You've got to fucking suck it up now, but you've got to be smart. When you stand off, he nails you, and he knows. I don't give a fuck about you winning the rounds. Do you understand? Please, trust me. You just got to get through this now. You know what I mean?
There's Matthew Hatton, a winner on the undercard early this evening. It's got to be tough on your ego to be number 2 in the family when number 1 is somebody with the glamour of Brother Ricky.
You're winning. You're in miles in front. Don't throw it away. You can lose this now if you don't keep it together. Don't stay away, because you're staying here when you're pulling back.
You're ready to go. 3, 4 punches. Come on, let's go. Be continuous. Come on, throw punches. Don't let him recuperate.
Round 10 begins, and you heard Billy Graham trying to impress upon Ricky Hatton a sense of urgency. You could lose this fight if you slow down. Could he? Here's Harold Letterman's scorecard.
You know, Jim, that's the strangest instructions I ever heard in my life. 88 to 83, 7 rounds to 2, Ricky Hatton. At the end of round 8, he told Ricky Hatton, just tie the guy up. Ricky Hatton spent the entire 9th round holding the guy. He didn't even throw a punch. He held him for a solid 3 minutes. Now he's doing the same thing. Why Billy Graham is taking a guy that's winning every round out of his game plan is totally beyond me. But be as it may, Hatton's way ahead. 7 rounds to 2, 88-83.
I have the same score.
Stop.
That's a line we don't always hear.
Well, the rounds have always been pretty clear, except for the one round where Urango, I think, hit him with a right hand to the body, hit Ricky Hatton. But other than that, it's like a pattern round. Ricky just outboxing him, better ring generalship.
Oh, they rip each other with hooks. And it appeared that Urango's hook did more damage, but Hatton jumps on him and comes back.
Urango, you notice when he throws his left hand, Urango, he's very seldom effective with his left hand because it's not his natural power punch. Most all of his power comes from right hand punches.
And he only throws about 7 jabs around, so let's face it, he's mostly a right hook fighter.
Right, and even though he had a good exchange there, as the round progresses, you're going to see Ricky take more control again, and Urango probably fall back once again to being too slow and ineffective like he just did there with that left hand he threw.
And by the way, Billy Graham may, in Harold Letterman's opinion, say the wrong thing to Ricky Hatton between rounds, but during the rounds, the fans keep up the intensity and keep encouraging their man to go.
What is it that Urango needs now? He needs a troop surge.
It's just, first of all, he's not a one-punch guy, which he's fighting like he's the guy that's going to knock somebody out with one punch. And he's just too slow. It looks like his body is too tight in muscle. He's too slow.
A lot of the guys he fought, he could do that too.
You know, Ricky Hatton, this is his 41st fight. I guess you can really see the experience showing. And it's 41 fights against quality competition, which makes a difference too.
Be interesting to see if everybody in Jose Luis Castillo's dressing room is still seated in a fixed position and watching intently, as was the case before, or whether by now they've begun to relax and disperse a little bit about the room, thinking, okay, we're going to be all right. Ricky's going to cruise on in here, and we'll set that big money date up.
I think they are relaxed. I think they're very comfortable with the way the fight is going, because Urango hasn't shown anything that he's going to land in a big devastating one-punch knockout punch.
Urango is about a 6-1 underdog, and he's fighting like it.
2 rounds. We got 2 rounds. You gotta knock him down. You gotta knock him down. Gotta beat him. You gotta come out and beat him. Think of it well. Throw with the left and the right up. With the left to the body and then the other one up top. You understand? Your right hand has to hit his body up top. Come on, hit his head up top. Left down, the right up top.
Who cares? 6 minutes, 2 more times, and then we'll go home. Yeah? And we'll get through this. We'll get through this, and you'll have the title. Don't get crazy now. Don't get crazy. Everybody goes through this. Every fighter goes through this. Everyone has to con somebody sometime.
And what was that line? Everybody has to what somebody sometime? We need an interpreter in Hatton's corner.
Where they speak English.
Yeah.
You know,
what is the line? We have a common heritage in different languages.
Well, coincidentally, the Lampley family began in Manchester, England, but I don't understand it. Can't help it.
Stop. Come on, hands-free. Separate. Hands-free.
We're in the 11th of a scheduled 12 rounds. And at no point has Juan Urango stepped up the pace in such a way as to really change the tempo of the fight. Only in one round, when he threw more body punches than Hatton and landed them and seemed momentarily to be gaining momentum. But since that time, it's been Hatton energy. You know, Harold Letterman talked about the round in which Hatton seemed to slow down and hold.
Good right hand by
Excellent right hook. He does it every once in a while, but Hatton just keeps coming.
And the reason that he's not doing any better is 2 things. One, is in his own mind, I think he doesn't realize that he needs to step up the pace, and he doesn't have any urgency because he feels he's winning. And the next thing is he's just too slow. But I think more so than that, he really believes he's winning the fight.
Now there's the headbutt, which I predicted would happen back in round 2. Finally, it takes place. And Urango, who earlier got a rest for a low blow, gets time now to recover from the butt.
Okay, let's stand right here. You want time? You want time?
Hatton might finish the fight without bleeding, incidentally, and that doesn't happen all that often.
Okay, what?
Nope.
Okay, watch the head. Come on.
That's a mark of the fact that Urango's basically a one-handed fighter. The way you get a guy to bleed is to hit him with something he doesn't see coming. And Ricky sees most of what Urango throws. There's a left hand by Urango, landed on the chin of Hatton. Finally.
Stop.
Ricky's tired a little bit now, so he's sort of landing punches and angling and moving away. He's now landing punches and then moving in and smothering Urango.
Yeah,
taking a break.
He takes the break by smothering. Then he gets an impulse and he says, okay, I'll throw 3 uppercuts. Boom, boom, boom. And then he holds again, gets another little rest.
The fact that he can get away with whatever he chose is because Urango is just too slow.
Hatton now palpably holding. This happened also in the Collazo fight.
Yeah, this is This is the ugly part of Hatton's game. It's, he's crowd pleasing for everybody from his hometown,